This was actually, you guys know what a mikveh is?
Isn't it like I don't know, some sort of religious bath? Like if you're gonna get converted, you have to go in the
I'm
mikveh.
guessing Bobby's good.
Religious women go every month after they have their period, don't have any more bleeding for a few days.
Interesting.
Then before they can go back and have relations with their husband, they go to a mikveh. For a Jewish couple, at least during those years, except when the wife is pregnant and therefore not having a period, or often when she's nursing doesn't have a period, pretty much half the time she's either has menstruated or the week after menstruated, so that's about 2 weeks. Most couples don't have sex, and until the woman goes to the mikveh, and then after that they're together. That sounds kind of draconian to a lot of people when they hear about that for the first time, but there's been a lot written about it, and a lot of women say, and I mean, having experienced it myself, it's a pain in the neck sometimes, because there are times you would like to be able to be with your wife without any restrictions, but it keeps the marriage fresh. It keeps that the woman isn't seen as a sex object, and only about touching and only about ingratiating yourself. That is half the month the husband has to deal with her as a person, having nothing to do with sex. Just love her at an arm's length level, and it really raises the relationship a lot. Well, mikveh is a very central thing in Jewish observant life. Mikveh is an interesting thing that keeps couples, makes every time they come together again. It's almost like another little honeymoon. If they're apart for a while, they come together again. It keeps the marriage fresh. You don't fall into a routine of just seeing each other as always available and always etc. It's a beautiful thing that women do. Mikveh has to have a very particular size, minimum size, and the water going into the mikveh has to be pure water that came to the mikveh completely naturally. You can't, if you take pails and fill up the mikveh with the pails, no good. It has to be water that flows in naturally, either rainwater, or when a person goes into a mikveh, sometimes people hear that, well, a woman is menstruating, she's unclean, and a mikveh, she clarifies herself. That's not true at all. You know who's the cleanest person in the whole world? A woman before she goes into the mikveh. Before she goes into the mikveh, she has to wash and everything, even check every possible dirt under her fingernails, hair that might be stuck together, as clean as possible. And then she goes into the mikveh. Sometimes some mikvahs aren't so clean, she has to take a shower after she gets out of them. Hopefully it's not like that. But the idea is not to cleanse her. The idea is that you go into water which is as close as possible to the way things were before, when God created it, before man kind of messed up things. So it has to be completely natural water with no man, making it or changing it, altering it. It's going back completely the way it was as it was written. It's called waters of Eden in our tradition.
So I know it's still a thing that's used in current days.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Like where are there mikvahs just at synagogues? Where are they?
Sometimes they're at synagogues, but
Where are they
sometimes in a Jewish community they usually have a building which their mikveh is, and actually it's a building which is usually off the side street because there's quite a large emphasis that nobody but the woman and her husband and the mikveh tenant should know that she went to the mikveh.
Okay.
Because people say, this week they're together, this week not together. Nobody knows. It's a very, very, very private thing.
Okay.
So it keeps so that's where mikvahs usually are now.
Gosh.
But it's about the right type, and it's steps going down. Just very simple. If you go to a mikveh today.